It's August 16th and a beautiful morning. I did visit Mount Tolmie earlier in the spring, but I thought it would be a good idea to see what the park was like in late summer. We've had very little rain on the South Island this year, and so as you'll see, the vegetation is very dry. Also, there's a haze in the air that is limiting distant views. Normally, the Olympic Mountains of Washington State stand out sharply as a set of often snow-capped peaks across the Fuca Strait to the south. But today, the mountains are invisible behind the distant haze. This is going to be a somewhat shorter video because it's only just over a kilometer to the top, so it is only going to take about 10 minutes. So I'll take the time to tell you a bit about the park that from its summit provides a terrific 360-degree view of Greater Victoria. Now, Mount Tolmie gets its name from Dr. W.F. Tolmie, who in the mid-1800s was a surgeon with the Hudson's Bay Company. He was also a biologist and a prominent citizen in the area. The original 16 acres was identified as a park reserve back in 1891, and then later officially became designated as parkland. The park has had two expansions over the years, once in 1926 when the municipality purchased additional property, and then again in 2003 through a donation that included part of Kingsbury Pond. One interesting fact about the park is that in the late 1800s, a real estate developer, as a promotional gimmick, built both a 460-foot snowless toboggan slide and a roller coaster on the summit. Unfortunately, these wooden structures were destroyed by fire in the mid-1890s and were never rebuilt. I think we should bring them back. Also of interest is the role the park played during World War II, when the Department of National Defence in Canada used the summit as an observation post. Construction of the summit viewing areas and the landscaping for the park entrance and picnic areas began in 1957, and the Capital Regional District's 4.8 million litre water reservoir followed in 1969. The Mount Tolmie Conservation Association volunteers started removing invasive plants such as blackberry, broom, daphne, and ivy in 1994, and they have since planted hundreds of trees and shrubs. The summit provides an excellent panorama of Greater Victoria and the surrounding region, including Mount Doug, the Olympic Mountains, the San Juan Islands, and Mount Baker. Over 1.5 kilometers of trails wind through the meadows and rocky slopes leading up to the summit. Along the way, there is also access to picnic sites, viewing areas, secluded nature areas, and great spots for bird watching. Now, you can't describe Mount Tolmie without talking about BC's only native oak species, the Garry oak. This part of Vancouver Island has dry, exposed, rocky bluffs and shallow soil that support the Garry oak ecosystem. Also unique to this region is the evergreen arbutus, with its smooth yellow-green colored bark that turns reddish-brown and starts to peel away in the fall. This peeling bark is an adaptation to this region's dry summers. The geographical location, the height of Mount Tolmie, as well as a pond, exposed rock outcrops, and seasonal pools all provide habitat for a large variety of plants and wildlife. And this includes around 100 different bird species, 11 butterfly species, 15 mammals, and thousands of insects. In the spring, the park comes alive with wildflowers like camas, white fawn lily, shooting star, western buttercup, sea blush, and satinflower. And the exposed tree trunks and rocky outcrops also host a variety of native species including mosses, lichens, and ferns. Also noticeable are signs of the last ice age, which ended about 12,000 years ago. If you look at the exposed rocks throughout the park, and particularly at the summit, you will see fine scratches and shallow grooves left by those moving glaciers. So on we go to the summit.